As many of you know, I'm Dr. Alejandro.
And I'm Dr. Emily.
And we're on a mission to rebuild chiropractic one partnership at a time.
We help chiropractors open practices, revive failing ones, and step into their true calling. This is the Path to Victory podcast.
I just want to imagine you guys a room full of 30 people, all of them big entrepreneurs making 7 digits or more. What are you going to get from that room? Clearly, you know you're in the correct room when you are not the best person in the room, but one of the worst ones, I would say. That's when you know you're actually sitting on the correct seat, on the correct room. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what happened to us on the Expanders Mastermind that we're part of. We went to Scottsdale Wednesday to Sunday, and the change that we had, it was unbelievable. It's not just like, it's not even systems wise, but it's more like in between the ears, yes, inside the brain, right? Because sometimes as entrepreneurs, we're doing well and we say, I don't deserve this. Why am I doing so good? Is this a sin? Am I being a bad person for doing well? Am I being a bad person for helping people? Am I being a bad person for helping my staff? But we don't think about, I'm helping my staff, I'm helping people. We just think like, wow, we're doing so good. Is there something wrong? Am I a sinner? And that is something that we need to change, because the Lord brought us to where we are. The Lord gave us the talents that we have. He sat us on the correct seat in order to make this change. But then we're doing all this change and we're just overthinking it and thinking that we're bad human beings. And it's something that I thought that I was the only person thinking that. And then someone brought it up. I didn't even bring it up. Someone brought it up on an open subject. And then everyone was like, I struggle with that. You know, another thing that we struggle is not having friendships. We don't have a lot of friendships because it's not like if we're looking on the daily to have friendships. But right now we don't have the time to be with someone talking, bless you, to be talking with someone all the time about how's your life and gossiping. Like, we're pretty selective with our friends. Mm-hmm. We're not on a time right now to waste our time, especially with Luca here and another child on the way. We don't, and running businesses, it's not a time to have multiple friends just to hang out. Yes. You know, we're in a season of growth. So the friendships that we have, they're going to get us closer to the growth. Yeah. And that is something that being part of this mastermind has helped us a lot. And things that I'm going to talk about here is a couple of things that we got actually from the first day. I'm not even probably going to have time to get to the second day. But one of the first questions was, you need people on your media team. We know that. Like, chiropractors think they just need a social media person that is like putting trends and like putting cool videos. That's not a social media team. You know, you need someone on your daily, like recording you. Like, people want to know what do you do outside the clinic? Like, I have noticed that people ask me like, what do you do in your house? How's the farming life? Mm-hmm. So now I need to start putting more content about like our farming life, you know, like our gym, our workouts. What do we do with Luca on the daily? So that's what people want to know about you. People don't care about, you know, like the trends that you put or anything. And then another thing that caught my attention pretty quick, and I know you probably have comments here, and probably have a lot of comments already from the past, so you can just jump in. Who do I need to become, or who do I need to get me to the next level? Mm-hmm. I think that was pretty deep. Like, for us, that we want to have 300 clinics to help 300 chiropractors, help 300 communities. It cannot just be you and I, or the team that we have right now. We need a bigger team that is going to help us get there.
Yeah, we're thinking like next level picture. So we've obviously never had 300 clinics before. We've never had 10 clinics before. So the question is, when you kind of deeply think about this, what am I doing right now that is not going to get me to those 10 clinics, those 300 clinics? What am I doing right now that I maybe need to delegate or hire somebody to take over to free up my time so I can focus more on onboarding and sales calls and stuff like that? And I think that was a really big revelation. The book, like Who Not How, right? We're not worried about how are we going to get to 300 clinics. We are thinking, who can I hire? Who can we add to bring on to the team who's going to get us to that 300 clinics? For us, the answer is obviously like a marketing team, and then a COO, a chief operational officer. And that already we've implemented that. We've hired a fractional COO who's already helping us to integrate and to keep us organized and to organize meetings and be in meetings on our behalf that we don't have to, so it can free up some of our time. So that was a really big takeaway too.
That was a big takeaway, actually. And now, you know, we want to have our own marketing team inside of the whole victory. So that is something that we learned from this weekend. And it's like, how do we do it? When is the correct time? But again, we've never been here before. So we have so many questions. We had so many questions on the weekend and then on the meeting on Tuesday that is like, how can we get it done? Then the other thing, I want you guys to think, if you're a chiropractor already and you're running your own clinic, who's the weakest person in your team? If you're not a chiropractor and you're a student, I want you, you might be driving or whatever, or studying, whatever you're doing. Think about who will be the weakest person in your team. What are the qualities that a weak person has? That way you don't hire that person. So you can prepare already. Like, if you're a student, who's your perfect person to be on your team? If you're a chiropractor and you have your own team already, or any business owner, who's the weakest person in your team? Okay, so that weakest person, you're going to have to remove it, unfortunately, because that weakest person, your team is going to be as strong as your weakest person. People say your team is going to be as strong as your strong person. It's like, no, it's going to be as strong as your weakest person. So,
and like we say too, we could train up or train out. So either we can pour into this person and get them available to not any longer be the weakest person, or we train them out. We're going to set the standard so high that they actually can't rise to the occasion and they will self-select themselves out of the process. And when we say weakest too, I just want to quickly define this. This isn't always performance-based. So maybe this person does everything that they need to do. They come in, they work, they do great, but maybe their energy is super low.
Bad.
Maybe they complain about what they did over the weekend, what they ate. They're not feeling good. They show up with an attitude of, oh gosh, I'm just so tired.
It's gonna rain so much tomorrow.
Just that negative Nancy, who maybe they are a really, really good employee, but they just come in with not a good attitude, and they will literally lower your energy. For us, we've had this before, a person on the team in the past where we're like, we physically don't want to enter the building just because we know we're going to see that person.
And it is your own building, the building that you've been working on your life. So, you cannot, you just have to get rid of that person.
Yes.
And there's no train up or train out. In that moment, if you don't want to be in the building with the same person, you just need to get rid of them.
Go.
Another thing, it is, what kind of CEO do you want to be? Probably you're a CEO already, but you're not the CEO that you want to be. Probably you're a CEO and you're already the CEO you want to be. Fine. But if you're not, ask that question. What kind of CEO do you want to be?
Yeah.
What would your team say about you when you're not there? And that is something that we change after this weekend, is what will get dropped if you're not there. For me, if I'm not there, the culture, I could tell, was dropping.
Yeah.
So now with this thing, and I cannot be on the other 4 clinics to be there for the culture, as they're 3 hours apart and one of them is like 12 hours apart. So what we did is we created a culture person designated for each clinic, and it doesn't have to be a doctor. Okay, in most of the clinics, it's going to be a staff. So in our office, we hire one of the CAs, have all the culture aspects. So we name her the culture person, and that person, if the culture is not being established or practiced, that person is going to call each other out. It should be already that everyone knows how to do it and call each other out. But, having that person there and that person can communicate with me whenever we're not there is going to be crucial. And we're doing that in every single clinic.
And this is the person who ideally you're like, if I could replicate this person, if I could have 100 of these people on my team, that's the person I want. Maybe they're not necessarily the most amazing performer, but they embody all of the core values that they have, or that you have set. They set the standard, they meet the standard, they rise to the occasion, and they are 100% on mission with you. They are bought into your vision. That's the kind of person who you want as your culture officer. We just named one as the CCO, the Chief Cultural Officer, and she's not responsible for firing or writing people up. She's just responsible for saying, hey, that's not our core value. We can't be talking like that. If we're gossiping in the back, we don't do that in our office. So let's kind of check in. What can I help you with to get better so that we're not doing that in the future? And that's her role currently, which I just love.
Absolutely. Yeah. And another example here is we can give you everything, but I know it's not going to get done without us.
Yeah.
So basically, you need us. And that is something that, just imagine, I went to Sherman College to speak to a class. It was a business class. There was like 20, 30 people in the room, students. And I literally gave them word by word everything that we did to open our clinic. Word by word, I gave them paperwork. I gave them an ebook that I have with everything that we do, because there's no secret. I don't need to keep a secret from everything that we do, because at the end of the day, you can get it done, but I know it's not going to get done without us. We are the source. So in that aspect, I know it's been a year already, and I know no one did anything, because I gave them my phone number and my email, and I told them, hey, in 4 weeks after you finish this, text me with a specific questions or a comment that you like it, and that way, like, we could talk about it. I was actually meaning to help a lot, and I didn't get one single text or one single email. So I know first, it doesn't matter how much blueprint do you have. As a student, you get everything. You don't apply it. So I know you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it done. And second, it's fair to say, and it's proven that without us, without the source, it's not going to happen.
Yep.
Because there's people that graduated around the same time of Alex and Ali that are in Waco, and literally they're still on the same page, like not doing anything. And Alex and Ali are like crushing it and helping a lot of people and getting a reward out of it, getting a profit out of it. So Alex and Ali, they have the source. They have us that we're literally 24/7 with them. Like, we're pushing them forward. We want them to be better than us. That's the problem. Like, problem that all these mentors have is that they don't want their students to be better than them. For us, it's the opposite. I want our people to be better than us.
Yep.
Because that means we did a good job.
Yeah. I'm going to use an example here just because it's something that we know. Just think about like training. Like, let's say we do CrossFit. So let's say we go to a CrossFit gym and there is the whole, what we call the WOD, right? The workout of the day. And you've got 10 here, whatever, 5 rounds of this. Okay, I know the workout. I know what I'm supposed to do, but I don't know how to strategize it. When do I need to take breaks? Should I be taking breaths on this movement? Is my technique, is my form right? And if you don't have somebody overseeing that and holding you accountable, you have the WOD all day long and you could do it, but you may not have the knowledge and the support behind to get that WOD done at the most efficient, effective level. And that's where we come in. We are your accountability partners. We are your support. If I say, hey, do XYZ in marketing, and you're like, hey, I really don't know how I'm supposed to show up in these BNI groups, for example, silly example, we're going to say, hey, here's exactly what you do. Here's what we did that worked. So it's like, yes, you can go to school. We did this. We went to hundreds of seminars about how to open our own business, about how to do technique. And technique's also a great example. I may know where to put my hand, what line of drive to do. But if I don't have somebody overseeing me and saying, no, that wasn't right, or hey, do this little tweak, it's going to be impossible to be successful. And so that's why it's so important to partner and have somebody to guide you and support you along the way.
And I had someone actually told me this weekend, like, hey, you have those students that they're actually going to fail if they open without you.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it that way, but the reality is that the numbers are out there. Like, we don't have to play the chances or anything. It's like, yeah, it's not going to go well. So if you guys have any question, please reach out to us. This episode is a lot of practicing, so just answer those questions for you. And if you need help answering those questions, just reach out to us, paththovictorycairo.com, and feel free to message us on Instagram as well.
See you guys next time.